Next to you, Starstruck. In Adrienette alternate universe, famous neighbor apartment, alternate universe fanfiction, Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, Chapter 7. Manon, that little girl as it turns out, is a wonderful and a complete darling. She is perhaps the complete opposite of Lila Rossi. It is only when Marinette gets home that she notices that her face is all over Twitter, but only more prominently now. As everyone knows, the internet never rests, so the young girl must have posted the picture soon after she and Adrian left the shot. Oh, did Marinette adore thoughtful people. It's totally nerve-wracking for Marinette to scroll through her feed. She's well aware that people are dissecting her image, forming biased opinions on her, judging her, loving her, or hating her. She prepares herself for the worst to come, for people to comment on her nose and its shape, her clothes and style, her hair or race even. She's expecting the very worst that she's seen people behind screens dish out. As she's seen before, the internet is a ruthless playground with pure fury embedded into it. Even the kindest and most gentle souls can be easily ripped apart on any given platform, especially when Lila Rossi is involved. Met Adrian Grass and his new girlfriend, Marinette. She's so nice. I love her already. They look totally in love. Marinette smiles at the caption Manon gave the picture. It's sweet. That's all she could ever ask for from a stranger on the streets. Much to her surprise, the following comments are also kind and loving. Not many people are tearing apart her appearance. For the most part, they're noting her big smiles and pretty eyes. Marinette feels the panic in her chest melt away. It's comforting, really, that she looks nice enough to not get slandered online. Marinette sighs and sets down her phone. In general, the tweets and comments were nice, but there were some outliers, snipily taking digs at her appearance. She now understands why so many celebrities are tired of the internet. The maintenance of pretending to not hear or notice the awful things being said about you openly on the internet. It's quite draining. She allows herself some rest, ordering out rather than cooking and cleaning a full meal, taking a relaxing and serene bath, and cuddling down in her fluffy bedding with a good playlist and adult coloring book. On normal days, she tries to get some more work done or talks to her friends on the phone. Today, however, she keeps things quiet. This time alone allows Marinette to review over everything that has happened. She thinks about everything that is going to change for her, starting the next day. She'll definitely get recognized at work, perhaps even stared at. Was she totally ready for the gapes that were certainly going to be directed towards her as she works on blueprints? Marinette has no idea, but there really is no going back now. She's in the deep end. All of her outdoor public appearances needs to be well thought out too, much to her delight. Marinette is a fashion designer at heart. Her clothes will be judged and copied, even if she's liked well enough. She decides to take that fact in stride and show off her massive wardrobe collection. Marinette lightly chuckles to herself, her thoughts amusing, imagining silly and make-believe scenarios of some famous reporter asking her about her sartorial choices. She hums contently. Marinette's already in too far. Might as well enjoy the ride for however long it is. Too much, she mutters to herself. Marinette has never been one to fuss or prink over her appearance. Yes, she took pride in her look and first impressions, but never before has she been so self-conscious of what the world may think. But today, Marinette is going out to the local mall with Alia. And no doubt she'll be recognized and noticed. People may take photos. They may even go up to her and chat idly. Or maybe they'll be totally awful. Throw rotten fruit at her, call her names, or even cackle at any misfortunes. Marinette shudders and tries to push the nervous thoughts away. The anxiety response has retreated, but not fully, but just enough for Marinette to grab her keys and get out the door. As she locks the door to her home, she hears the lift beep once, and it opens to reveal Adrien and Alia. Alia looks a bit amused, and Adrien is bright red. He waves shyly at Marinette before ducking into his own apartment. Marinette raises a brow at Alia, questioning what on earth she did to Adrien. Nothing, I swear. Alia's hands are up in surrender. Marinette's not quite sure that she can trust it. Really? Alia continues, but her mouth is pulled back into a mischievous smile. I don't buy it, Marinette states, lightly pushing Alia back into the lift. The brunette chuckles. You got me, she jokes. I asked him how his pretty lady was doing, a la Lila Rossi. Alia continues to cackle, and Marinette rolls her eyes and sighs. Oh, poor Adrien. I will say, Alia cuts in with a very different tone of voice. A less evil and more genuine smile appears on her face. Of all the celebrities who you could have gotten into a fake relationship with, I'm glad it was Adrien. He's like just a huge kid. Sweet, shy, and blushes way, way too much. Marinette looks down and shifts her bag, fidgeting with it. He's like a really down-to-earth celebrity. Like a totally normal guy who just happens to be plastered all over the billboards in Paris and Americas and whatever. Yeah, like that. He's a good one, Alia hums, nudging Marinette with her shoulder. Marinette knocks her right back. Marinette flickers her eyes from her room number and back to Alia. You don't need to tell me twice, she teases. He's always been nice, even before I found out who he was. I'm sure he'd appreciate hearing you do like him, but as far as I know, he's under the impression that you're angry with him for getting me into all of... Her arms wave around, nearly decking Alia in the face. This, Marinette finishes. Alia pins her arms to her sides with a warning look. Oh, please don't do that. I love the look of panic on his face every time I get near, Alia says sarcastically. No surprise there, Marinette jokes. Alia chuckles and steps out of the lift. Come on, pop star, she teases. Let's go to the mall quick. I want to get that new tea machine before everyone starts running after you. No one is going to be running after me, Marinette laughs. You never know, Alia replies in a sing-song voice. Much to Marinette's relief, getting to the underground mall was a quiet affair. No one was really paying attention to her. Not that she was expecting otherwise. For the most part, teenagers were the main audience who would be actively thinking about her. Adults like her, though, not so much. It worries her slightly, though. Going to a mall packed with adolescents who listened to Lila Rossi for their share of celebrity and Adrien gossip. She'd probably be recognized there. No, she's awful, Alia says firmly. Marinette raises a questioning brow. You were literally talking about how much you loved her antics during work last week, she points out. Alia smiles faintly. I love everything she does. Not her, Alia explains. Marinette opens her mouth in an O shape. Ah, so she's a TV show for you. Exactly. Marinette searches around to find an empty table. Eventually she does, and Alia sets down her belongings and continues to tell her the story. Marinette listens quietly, nodding along, providing little trifle comments. "Excuse me?" a voice calls from Marinette's right. She and Alia both turn to face two eager-looking girls. Well, one eager-looking girl. Marinette takes in a breath and smiles kindly. "Hi," Marinette welcomes. "Do you girls need something?" She tries to make her voice inviting and friendly, and judging by the girls' giggles, it's working. "I'm Sarah. Are you Marinette? Like, Adrienne's new girlfriend?" Sarah squeals excitedly. Marinette nods. "Yes, I am. Really nice to meet you, Sarah," she says politely. Sarah squeals excitedly at her friend. Marinette turns to the other girl. "What's your name?" "I'm Mary," the brunette says. She's much calmer than her friend. Rather than bouncing around, she's still. Marinette's not sure if it's because Mary is one of those young girls who are convinced they'll marry a celebrity over a decade older than them, or because she really isn't into gossip. "Sorry, Sarah really likes your boyfriend," she explains. Marinette feels some relief in knowing that it was the latter. Sarah pouts at her friend. "He's just so cute," she exclaims. "And that picture of you two, oh my god, it's such couples goals," Sarah coos at Marinette. Out of her peripheral, Marinette notes that Alia is silently chuckling. "Thank you," Marinette says. "Adrienne is rather sweet," she laughs. "Funny too," Alia pipes in. Mary nods, seriously. "Nice to know he's more than just a pretty face," she nudges her friend. "He's got a really pretty face," Sarah defends herself. "You agree, don't you?" She directs the question towards Marinette. Marinette laughs a bit. "Certainly," she says, keeping up the image of being his girlfriend. Despite Alia knowing the context, she quietly snickers. "He's actually really nice, right?" Mary asks seriously. Marinette nods. "Adrienne is wonderful," she explains with a smile. "Friendly, a little silly, but the kindest person ever, I promise," Marinette says. Mary pulls on a small smile as Sarah cries out in joy. These two girls remind Marinette a lot of Julika and Rose back in college. Rose had been a lot more spastic in years 6 to 8 than she was in year 11. Mary was a lot more like Julika, calm, cool, and totally collected. All she needed was some purple hair and rock music to complete the look. Sarah was just as excited as Rose had been back in school. Always on her toes, bouncing around and jumping over the smallest things, and totally invested in celebrity gossip. "And by the way, I love your dress from the picture. It's so pretty. The pink and red and white and more pink. It's totally my style. I really liked it, and the second I saw it, even though it was kind of blurry in the picture, I knew I needed it. Where did you get it from? I can't find it. I tried to look online, but at the time you were just Adrienne's new girlfriend, so you didn't have a good place in any of the fashion blogs. I was looking in the fashion catalogs too, but I couldn't find anything there either," Sarah babbles. Marinette smiles at her kindly, despite feeling a funny sense of deja vu. "Oh, thank you. I made the dress, so I'm not quite sure you'll be able to buy it from a store." Despite the obvious disappointment, Sarah lights up like a firework. "That is so cool," she cries out. "I'll look for a dupe. Do you have a really clear picture that I could look at?" The young girl digs out her phone. "Here," Alia offers, showing a picture of the dress on a mannequin. Sarah snaps a picture of it and gushes a thank you. "Of course," Alia smiles. "Come on, Sarah," Mary says, pulling Sarah away. Let's go. My mom will be here soon, she says. Sarah pouts but allows herself to be dragged away. Oh, can I get a picture? Sarah says quickly. Mary sighs and lets her go for just a second. Please? Marinette motions for her to come closer and take a selfie. She silently thanks her past self for trying with her makeup today. Sarah is overjoyed and thanks her about 100 times as Mary just waves goodbye at them and pulls Sarah along. The former is muttering something about humans, Marinette, art pieces, and paparazzi. That girl was sweet, Alia comments when the girls had disappeared from view. Marinette nods. She was. Excited too. She's kind of like you, Alia chuckles, nudging Marinette's shoulder. Especially about the dress. I'm sure that was you in college. Marinette snorts and rolls her eyes playfully. Yeah, I know. I realized that too, especially when she was babbling. Nice to know you're gonna get another glowing review from a fan, though. Probably good for PR, Alia teases. But really, everyone seems to really, really like you. Marinette lets out a sigh of relief. That's the best thing I could ever hear. There was way too good of a chance that the whole entire world would hate me for dating Adrienette. She discreetly puts up air quotes. Thank goodness that hasn't happened yet. Alia nods. Or maybe it won't happen at all. Marinette looks out wistfully at all the people. Hopefully. When Marinette arrives home, it's just like the day before. Her picture is trending on Twitter. This time around, though, she's also on Instagram. Again, the comments are nice and polite. Very few demand more of her in those wanting statements and insider information and more pictures. Luckily, other users had shut them down, telling them that they really didn't need much more of Marinette's personal information. And really, they didn't. Marinette was the nicest person ever, and so pretty. Also, if anyone's looking for the dress in the original picture of her and Adrien, she made that dress, so you're gonna have to find a dupe. Marinette smiles, happy to know that she made a good impression on Sarah. People are raving about her dress in the comments and in tweets. They're all kind and praising her for her talent and work. She feels her heart swell with joy. This is definitely the upside of the many downsides of fame. I totally don't blame Agreste for falling for this girl. She's actually quite pretty. Marinette frowns at the post from Lila Rossi. She doesn't appreciate the backhanded compliment. It almost rang in her head. The tweet being one of the few semi-negative ones that she'd seen. Scrolling past, she sees a lot of article links, blog posts, and magazine covers. People are really interested in her. For the most part, love her already. This will definitely help with the PR stunts. Marinette winces at that thought. Stunt. This is all a ploy, and when it ends, who knows how terribly the media will rip her apart then. Public opinions can change very quickly after all. Marinette's phone rings with a text. It's Adrien. She smiles lightly and opens the text thread. I saw your picture online, Adrien texts. Marinette smiles at her phone and types back a response. I'm looking at them right now. You've already got the whole world on your side. Even Lila Broken posted a picture. That she can't even claim she can't even claim it for herself. That's impressive. Thank you. And the girls were just the sweetest. I'm just glad that I'm in the bright lights of society rather than getting slandered online. Ah, you're so great. I doubt they'd be able to find something really bad about you. Or bad at all. Marinette feels her cheeks go red, and she looks to her side, to the shared wall between her and Adrienne's apartment. Haha, thanks, she types back. I'm sure they'll find something, though. The hatred of the media may know no bounds. We're pretty lucky we haven't caught it yet. Well, I'm lucky I haven't caught it yet. You've always been the golden boy of the internet. Not always, Adrienne texts back. Marinette cocks her head in interest and surprise. Do spill! Don't mind if I do. Thus launches into a story. Adrienne tells her the story in a very entertaining way, and with an aggressive amount of typos. It's endearing in such a funny way that he's so eager to tell her the story he's messing up simple words, and it's incredibly funny. They text late into the night. And Marinette feels like she's a teenager again in high school, talking to a nice and really pretty boy. Admittedly, she's really just an adult talking to a nice and really, really pretty boy. So it's not too different of a situation. By the time that she decides to actually check the clock, it's nearly 2 a.m. in the morning. And she has work the next day. Today. She has work today, soon. She texts Adrienne back, letting him know that she needs to go to sleep so that she can get up in time for work. He apologizes profusely for keeping her up so late. Marinette tiredly chuckles at that. She says goodnight, and he says it back, telling him not to worry at all, and that it's fine if she stays up late sometimes too. Marinette puts her phone down on her bedside table and closes her eyes. Sleep comes quickly, and she's drifting off, and it doesn't take long until she's drifting off. That's when she realizes there's a smile on her face. She hopes Adrienne doesn't feel too bad about cutting her sleep schedule short. For starters, she always fell asleep back in high school at around this time, so she could manage one sleep-deprived day. And secondly, she didn't regret ignoring the time in favor of talking to him all night in the slightest and at all.